Cultural Diversity, Part 3, Diversity versus Discrimination. Now that we have discussed how to promote cultural diversity in your organization and what to avoid, let's talk about how to protect diversity and avoid discrimination. The following are the main points or objectives for the third part of this training. Define the terms diversity management, inclusion, cultural competency, and cultural sensitivity. Describe equal employment opportunity, EEO. Describe the difference between legal compliance, cultural competency, and cultural sensitivity. Describe the information you would need to file discrimination. Identify the statute of limitations to file an alleged violation. Identify the resources available to you to gain more information on filing discrimination. Before we discuss diversity in the law, we must consider the different terms used in diversity regulation. The first is cultural diversity, as we have already defined earlier, is interchangeable with multiculturalism. We also discuss how cultural diversity describes the basic differences like religion, language, and gender. It also describes the more complex differences like moral judgments, race, values, ethnicity, disabilities, sexual orientation, gender identities, and the list can go on. We are now expanding our definition of cultural diversity as we explore the regulation of diversity. One may ask why cultural diversity is a topic under the Human Resources banner. Well, cultural differences do impact the work style of the employees. As we discussed earlier, organizations can gain great benefits from these differences. Diversity management is the term used to describe all the organizational and managerial practices being developed to further harness cultural diversity. Diversity management practices are developed in organizations to maximize an employee's potential. That is why diversity management falls under the Human Resources banner. As a result of diversity being managed by human resources, we see the term inclusion. Inclusion basically states that everyone has equal access to opportunities and resources within the organization. When used in conjunction with diversity management, inclusion requires cultural competence. Cultural competency requires people from diverse backgrounds communicating and working together. Thus, they understand each other's needs and perspectives. Finally, this leads us to defining cultural sensitivity, or intercultural sensitivity. This is the effectiveness of people from varying cultures in one organization to communicate and work together. In this section, we will start using our new terms to understand the law. Diversity, the legal aspects, can be complicated or very simple. A brief history lesson can make everything very simple, especially the acronyms. Equal employment opportunity began in the 1960s with the Equal Pay Act of 1963 and Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. EEO is what we call the Equal Employment Opportunity for short. We see this a lot under or next to job descriptions. The EEO legal framework grew through the 1990s as additional anti-discrimination laws were added, notably the Americans with Disabilities Act, ADA, and the Age Discrimination in Employment Act, ADEA. More information regarding EEO can be found on the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission website. EEO is a group of laws that require organizations to develop procedures to remain in legal compliance. As a result, organizations started to create diversity programs or inclusion programs. The success of such programs is measured by cultural competence and is managed by the Human Resources Department of an organization. As cultural competency programs evolved, organizations began to see benefits beyond EEO. Over time, organizations enhance their cultural competency programs, and we see the growth of cultural sensitivity programs. These programs focus on boosting the competitive advantage and searching for business opportunities. An employee must analyze the situation prior to filing discrimination charges against an organization that is failing to meet cultural competency or compliance. This leads us to our next section, your rights. Your rights. You do have rights according to EEO. It is illegal to discriminate in any aspect of employment, including the following: hiring and firing, compensation, assignment, or classification of employees, transfer, promotion, layoff, or recall, job advertisements, recruitment, testing, using of company facilities, training and apprenticeship programs, fringe benefits, pay, retirement plans, and disability leave, or other terms and conditions of employment. Now, if you're claiming the organization failed to provide cultural compliance programs, consider the following. Ensure you consider what an organization does to remain compliant versus to foster cultural sensitivity. Consider the purpose of the program. Review the law or contact your HR office. For example, if your company is opening a branch in China and begins to offer sensitivity trainings over Chinese culture, it may not be in your best interest to claim grievance because the company did not offer sensitivity trainings over Russian culture from which you originate. However, if you feel there is a true grievance and you are clear you have been discriminated against, there are some recommended steps you should take. We all hope an employee can avoid working in a situation or within an organization in which filing a complaint is necessary. However, this section will provide you with some essential information you will need if you have to take appropriate reaction steps to discrimination. First of all, you need to collect the necessary information to file a charge, which includes the following: your information, name, address, and telephone number. The name, address, and telephone number of the responsible employer, employment agency, or union that has alleged to have discriminated, and the number of employees or union members if known. A short description of the alleged violation, basically the event that caused you to believe your rights were violated, and the dates of the alleged violation. Secondly, you need to be aware of where to submit your charge. For state violations, you will file with the Fair Employment Practices Agencies, FEPA. For federal violations, you will file with the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, EEOC. Remember, the statute of limitations to file is 180 days from the date of the alleged violation. Though there may be some exceptions to this, to protect your legal rights, it is always best to contact the EEOC, and you can go to their website as soon as you suspect discrimination. Finally, it is in your best interest to seek the counsel of your local state civil rights commission. You probably will need support and personal guidance as well in making such a decision, and the State Civil Rights Commission can provide you with this assistance. Resources available to you. The following are the 4 links to the offices mentioned throughout this training. Take some time and review 1 or 2 of the following sites provided. There are other links on the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission website that you can utilize for more information other than the 4 provided here. Let's conduct a brief review. Remember, diversity management is a term used to describe all of the HR practices to increase cultural diversity in our organization. Inclusion means we all have equal access to resources. Cultural competency represents the programs developed to show compliancy to the law and demonstrate inclusion. Cultural sensitivity represents the additional programs developed by an organization to further maximize profits and growth of the business. EEO is a set of laws that begin in the early 1960s and are in place to protect individual rights and in turn require cultural competency or compliance programs. Legal compliance or cultural competency programs are the bare minimum programs most organizations have in place to adhere to the law, while cultural sensitivity programs are a result of organizations trying to maximize upon the benefits of a culturally diverse organization. In order to file discrimination, one has to ensure discrimination has occurred, after which basic information of the person filing the complaint, the company, the alleged violation, and the dates of violation are required. Remember, if an alleged violation has occurred, the statute of limitations requires it has to be filed within 180 days of the incident. There are many resources available to you to comprehend the complexities of filing discrimination, as well as to ensure you receive support.